The principal of Homer Center High School is on the line with us here this morning, actually joining us from the road where he's pulled over, I'm sure, and is in a very safe spot. Our visit presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer, 3 years in a row, and the best of Indiana County contests. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Wherever it is that you are, is it snowing there too?
It is not. It's actually sun shining, and I'm heading back towards it, I guess.
Well, we had sunshine earlier, but now we've got the snow again here this morning. And, you can push some of that our direction. We'd appreciate that very, very much. Hey, next week begins the month of April. That's home stretch, isn't it, when you get down to the school season?
Yep. So for us, thought yesterday was the first day of our last quarter, so we are definitely we see the finish line, and we're sprinting for it. That's for sure.
Well, that being the case, I know that we talked last month about how it seems when you get to the month of March that you sort of turn a corner and kids begin to really think about getting outside. You've got prom season coming up. That is going to be here in another month, and all of the various field trips and other things. School takes a different tone when you get to this time of the year, doesn't it?
It does, and sometimes as the sun comes out, everybody gets a little bit, it's the whole demeanor, excitement, happiness. So we're looking for it to be more consistent than what it sounds like it is over there today. If the sun's going to shine, let's let it shine. If it's going to snow, let's let it snow. But let's get some more of that sunshine going.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So academically, at this time of the year, kids, of course, some schools will have the standardized tests that you have to take. Maybe all schools have the standardized tests that are required to be taken. I know that in the past you have talked about that and how at Homer Center, you could do what some do and complain about the tests, but you make a special effort to make them meaningful for the students.
Well, and I think really, it's just, to me, it's a way to collect data and to see where students are, and we put a lot of emphasis on our growth scores. And for us, I think growth is, that's the goal every human being should have in life. I mean, try to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday and so forth. But, I think we kind of have a way that we think that we should, we attack teaching and learning. And to me, this is like the test is kind of game day. I mean, we're teaching kids skills. We're teaching them those types of things and that they need to know, not just because they're taking a test, but because those are things that we need to be productive citizens, productive members of society, productive in our homes. And, so the test gives us data that kind of tell us, and I think one of the things is that when you focus on achievement, in other words, most people would understand this on the, you're advanced, proficient, basic, or below basic. I think that when you turn that focus into a growth mindset, you start showing students, like, hey, this is where you were predicted to be, this is where you are, and a lot of times those predictions, we are scoring higher than the predicted score, so we celebrate that, because what that does is it reinforces with kids that effort, hard work, focus on task. Those things matter, and, so they can see that their effort does have some dividend. It pays. And I think with teachers, we're always looking for how we can add to our strategies, our toolbox of teaching. And sometimes, teachers will try a new initiative, try a new strategy, and if they're focused solely on achievement scores, then maybe their kids didn't quite score, like not a lot of them scored proficient or advanced or not enough. But I think that when you focus on how much did your students grow, and that's every student, the ones that were predicted to score the highest to the ones that are scored the lowest, if we can show that growth, then that reinforces with the teachers that they have a good practice, one that's resonating with our students, and they can continue to develop and build upon that. So, I mean, we can complain about the state testing all we want, but at the end of the day, it's a fact of life. So instead of focusing our energy on negative things, how can we make that work not only for our students, but for continuous improvement of our teachers?
Yeah, it becomes motivational both for the students and for the teachers, doesn't it?
Well, I think it does in the sense when you focus on the growth, it does. Because, the difference between, I'm not going to get into the weeds too much on this, but the difference between someone who scores proficient, they need a scaled score of 1,500. And a person that's deemed to be basic can have a 1499. I mean, to me, that's such an arbitrary line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand there's so much data that goes into establishing it and all that stuff. I'm not questioning the validity of it. But with growth, that's 100% that has no bearing on socioeconomic status. It means that each individual student started at this starting point, and this is where their ending point was, and you can tell if they've grown or not. And I think that's, like, if you spend so much, like, when we talk about growth with our kids, we want our kids to be advanced and proficient, don't get me wrong, who doesn't? But at the end of the day I think that when we get the kids in that mindset of, like, we just want your best effort. We want and our kids do. They give us a hellaciously strong effort on these tests. And, and when they can see that growth, that's the reward for them, and that's what the reward in life should be for all of us, that, we learn from an experience, we've grown from an experience, and if we continually do that, I think everybody will be okay.
Yeah, that tenacity of wanting to learn is reinforced by maybe those test scores, but a motivated student doesn't need the test scores in order to know that they are actually making progress in the right direction. That, in turn, then feeds something else that happens at this time of the year, the students beginning to look forward to next year and what their class schedule will be, where they want to really emphasize their next year of academic growth, correct?
It's funny you said that, Tosh, because I just sent an email out 2 days ago to our returning students that we will be doing at the high school. We're going to be taking student schedule requests next week. And so, we have a process, and we kind of, we meet with them. We'll do what we call stadium scheduling, and they put their request in, and then it's time for me to roll some sleeves up and get to work and help produce a schedule that these kids can maximize their potential next year.
When you do that, are you in consultation with faculty members, with their teachers, to say, can this child handle this, or is this something that they need to boost in order to be able to take this course next year? Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of pre-work that goes into what we're going to do next week and take requests. We do have our core subject teachers that the students currently have will make recommendations to which courses they should take in the core subjects, math, science, English, social studies next year. And so we kind of pre-plot that. So when I meet with them next week, and they already been having discussions with their current teachers on those topics, but so what will happen is, like, so then I have the kids verify that's the course that, that, they knew that they were going to be recommended for, and B, if they do have a request that they would like to have a different, maybe have us consider a different idea, then we will take that next week too. So there's a lot of pre-work that teachers put into, looking through not only current year data, but past data to kind of help guide the kids into two things. One, a class that they can be challenged in but not overwhelmed. And number two, a class that kind of meets what they have defined as their current and or potential future interests. So, yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. The teachers do a heck of a good job of doing that. And then we let the kids, when we schedule next week, we'll have them rank their preference of electives. If they want to pursue art, media, opportunities that we provide at Homer Center, or whatever other, elective programs, business, whatever else that we do have and offer.
Meanwhile, the students who are not going to be back next year but will be graduating this year, the emphasis is upon finishing well. What started for them 13 years ago, huh?
Yeah, we do a lot of work right now to start verifying, like, are we on target, or they going to make the stage, and we start having some meetings with kids that are, probably will make it, but, if they don't, keep focused, they may not. And so we spend a lot of time. We start that usually at the semester break in January, but that kind of heats up now where we have some students that we just make sure we're tracking and just make sure they're staying on progress in order to graduate. So, yeah, we're getting there, and really excited about, and for seniors, this is awesome for them. I mean, they have we do multiple day class trips with them, so they got some nice trips coming up. And they get to spend those this last quarter really together and just kind of taking a pause sometimes and looking around and just really realize, how blessed they are. And, we feel that, our students are proud that they went to Homer Center, appreciate the experience that we try to provide them. And, so just to have, like, those relationships really, are kind of concluding in a way, but it's also just it's good to see just everybody. It seems like it brings people closer together as you get close to graduation.
Absolutely does. A special time in their lives. Jody, thank you so much for coming on board and joining us this morning. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Did it quit snowing yet?
No, it's actually harder now. I can't see across the street at the moment.
Well, I might have to lock the four-wheel drive in then as I get close. So
there you go. Hey, safe trip.
All right. Thanks, Bud. Take care.
Jody Rainey, Homer Center principal, with us this morning on Indiana in the Morning.